This is the Manga Chronicle. Today we're looking at Jujutsu Kaisen, and more specifically, the greatest modern sorcerer, Satoru Gojo. Now his power set can be a little tricky to understand, but we're going to break it down right now. So if you think of Gojo like a computer, he's got two distinct parts. His Limitless, which is the software, and the Six Eyes, which is the hardware. Now the way that his powers work, he requires both. Without being born with the Six Eyes, the rest of his techniques would be impossible to perform. So Gojo's Limitless technique is not a force field. It's more like a paradox. Now in math, there's a term called an asymptote. This is going to be a line on a graph that gets closer and closer to zero, but never actually becomes zero. So essentially you have something that goes on infinitely, but is always getting closer, but never makes it all the way. That's basically what Limitless is for Gojo. Between his hand and your face, there's a finite amount of space. But Gojo's technique allows him to divide the space infinitely. 1 meter becomes half a meter, then a quarter meter, then a quarter of that. You're moving forward, but you're traveling through an infinite series of fractions. You'll constantly get closer, but you'll never arrive. He doesn't stop you, he just makes the road endless. Now let's apply cursed energy to that concept. So Gojo has blue, a cursed technique that creates negative numbers in space. The universe hates negative space, so it rushes in to fill the gap, creating a massive magnetic implosion that is blue. Red is cursed technique reversal. He multiplies the negative by a negative to create a positive. And instead of attracting space, he violently pushes it outward. And finally, purple, the hollow technique. He smashes blue, which is attraction, and red, which is repulsion, together. This creates an imaginary mass, a singularity that effectively deletes matter from existence. It's not an explosion as much as it is an eraser. So the reason we only ever see Gojo use this technique is because of the Six Eyes. In order to process infinity, you'd have to have a supercomputer for a brain. The Six Eyes allow him to see cursed energy on an atomic level. It minimizes his energy consumption to essentially zero, which allows him to function without having to have the largest cursed energy output. Without the eyes, using Limitless would fry a normal sorcerer's brain in seconds. With them, he can run it 24/7. Gojo isn't strong because he shoots giant beams. He's strong because he forces his opponents to fight against the laws of physics themselves. Is Gojo the best power system design in shonen? Subscribe to the Manga Chronicle as we break down Sukuna Shrine next.